Hey y'all, I just wanted to give y'all that update I told y'all about my job application with Amazon, or my new hire event. And I didn't know what was happening, but very late Sunday night, I let me start from the beginning. I've been looking for a job for several months, but I was being very particular, like when I would apply, it was like it was a typically professional or an office position, and I was constantly, oops, I almost dropped my phone, and I was constantly just looking for things that I could see myself doing. Like I would apply, like I applied at Rooms to Go for sales positions. I applied for administrative assistant positions, for, again, sales positions, receptionist positions. It was just anything I could see myself doing that I either had experience in, or I knew that if they saw my resume, they at least saw something I had with that. So one of my favorite interviews I went on, which I fell in love with everybody in their office, was Pacesetter Homes in Dallas. So I really liked them. They were just like, I don't know how to explain it, but just seemed like good quality people. I really liked them. I had my hopes really high after I went on that interview, and totally just stopped applying for jobs, thinking that I might get a call back, because I interviewed for 2 different positions with them: a sales assistant job, or a junior sales person, and then an office job. And they both looked very promising, but neither of them obviously worked out, because even when I called back, no one called me back. I left a message and no one called me back. So I was like, okay, it's time for me to just move forward. And actually, at the time that I called, I was on my way to a staffing agency to fill out an application. So fast forward, it had been several months since all this started, and I finally just got to the place when they never called me back. I said, you know what, I'm just gonna apply. I just was praying, and I felt like just start applying for anything and everything. Like, it doesn't matter if you can see yourself doing it, just do it, just apply. Because I laughed, because I was like, one of my favorite things that I really enjoyed doing was working for UPS in 2013, when we were in a very tight place financially. And I did this UPS thing, and y'all, I loved it. I broke my nose, which was hilarious. I had 2 black eyes. The diad like bounced and hit me right here, and both of my eyes were black. My nose bled like crazy. It was funny. I fell during Ice-Mageddon and really hurt my back really bad. Never reported any of it, because I'm just that person, right? So I just get up and keep doing my job. People don't know that about me. Like, I am just that person. I'm just gonna work hard. So I just started applying for everything. And I applied, like, Susan Tidwell sent me a link for Amazon, and I'm thinking, okay, great, I'm just gonna apply for Amazon, whatever they have, however this works out. I didn't see how to apply specifically to be like a delivery person for Amazon Prime, anything like that. So I'm on their, like, I know it sounds terrible, but I'm on their website, I'm applying. What was really cool is they did have a place for you to apply, and then as you apply, it looked like it was all warehouse jobs. And then I just selected the one closest to my home, which was in Carrollton. So I applied for this job with Amazon in Carrollton. And then at the end of it, there was this test of like putting things in order in racks and things like that. And I did this test. I'm like, oh, that's right up my alley. I kind of like coordinating and putting things on shelves and, organizing. And I thought, this is kind of cool. So anyway, long story short, I immediately, as soon as I finished applying, I get this new hire event option. And then it gives me, I think, 2 or 3 options to come to a new hire event. Well, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that looks like. I'm thinking new hire event, they're just gonna, you walk in and they're gonna interview you or whatever. That's not what it was. So anyway, I put on my suit. I had on my black jacket, my black pants, my closed-toe shoes, because it did say come in closed-toe rubber-soled shoes. So I did. And I get over there, and there's a ton of people in the room. I'm gonna guess maybe 40, 50 people. And so I don't know exactly, but I selected my time and I showed up over there, And I was laughing because I was like so dressed up. Like, I'm here for the administrative assistant position that's not even on there, right? It's really funny. So I go in there and I'm like, I see the first chair is empty. So I just get up on the front row on the first chair because that's me, just like I do in church. Oh, the front row is empty. I'm going to go sit there. So I sit there on the front row, and it was so cool because I'm praying the entire time. I'm praying. And the guy calls me up eventually after they show videos, tell you about the jobs, tell you everything, tell you what each warehouse is, what they do in each warehouse. So I go sit down and I'm doing all that. And he calls me up, gives me information about my warehouse, what it is, what I'm going to be doing. Well, here it is. The Carrollton warehouse, which is closest to my home, is the printing ops warehouse. I don't know what that is. What it is they customize t-shirts, and they make t-shirts there. Well, all these light bulbs are going off in my head because Christopher and I have talked about him he wants to make clothing. He wants to have his own clothing line. He wants to make t-shirts and sweatshirts and even joggers with, like Christian stuff on them and stuff like that. So I'm like, this is so cool. So I think, oh God, this is so cool. Is this a setup from you? Am I going to be doing printing ops, working in this warehouse, learning how to do this stuff so that I can help Christopher get a business started so Christopher can do his own Christian t-shirts and stuff? I just think it's all just really cool, supernaturally being divinely orchestrated, like God does things in my life. So I'm sitting there, and then he says, well, go sit, you're next to be, photoed for your badge and then drug test. I said, okay. So I go sit down in the first seat to be photographed. And finally she calls me up, do all that. And she tells me, go stand in the corner. And I'm the very first person that's going to be, in the groups as they set them up to be drug tested. So I go stand in this corner, and I'm standing in the room, and I've told this story to a couple people, but like I look around, and when people eventually, I'm standing there for a very long time waiting for people to come in, and I'm in this corner, and I'm facing, and I'm praying in the Spirit the whole time, and I'm looking out, and I'm like noticing how many of these people are in their 20s, maybe a few in their early 30s. I'm myself and I think another Hispanic lady were in our 50s. And then there was this one other guy that I think might have been in his 40s, but everybody else really looked like they were in their 20s and maybe early 30s. So I'm looking around and I'm thinking, wow, Lord, what are you doing? So I'm praying in the Spirit, and I'm praying constantly. And then I'm asking God, I'm like, why am I here? Like, why am I here? Like, what is this all about, God? I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't even know what I'm doing here. I don't even know what you're up to. Please show me what you're up to, God. I don't have a clue. And I'm just standing there. And I had looked around the room, and then I closed my eyes, and I just said, God, what am I doing here? What are you doing? Like, where are you taking me? And then I just heard Brooke Ellerby calls me Mama Dake, and so does Z McReynolds. So I'm closing my eyes, and I hear Mama Dake, and I'm like, what? And I said, Lord, is that you? So I just said, Lord, what am I doing here? Please tell me what I'm doing here. And then Marquise, who lives with us, Marquise calls me Mama T. I had closed my eyes, and I heard, and I saw his face, and I heard Mama T. Well, I know that to some people this would sound, whatever, but honestly probably about 80% of the people in the room were Black, African American. And I thought that was interesting because all of these kids that call me Mama Dake and Mama T are all African American kids. And so when I closed my eyes and I heard that, I was like, wow. And then when I closed my eyes again, I saw Heidi Baker. And y'all, I'm not comparing myself to Heidi Baker in any way. Please hear me. I'm not comparing myself to Heidi Baker. But I thought of Heidi Baker. And I thought, wow. I was like, God, are you putting me in a mission field? Is Amazon going to be a mission field for me? Is this going to be a mission field? So I don't know. So I need prayer, y'all. I really, 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 really need prayer. This is very big to me. Amazon, big. This is very big to me. This is huge. I need prayer warriors to cover me, because I really believe that as I go into this mission field, I feel like God has an assignment for me, and I would really appreciate your prayers. So please, if God lays it on your heart, and please, I'm really asking particularly, and I'm going to tag a couple of people or share this specifically with a couple of people that I know are intercessors. Please pray for me. As of October 30th, I begin this job, unless something happens and the enemy steals this again. But I felt like every job I've gone on, I was like, I feel like this is God. But I feel like this is God, and I feel like this is a mission field, so I really need prayer support. I really need intercessors to intercede daily for me. And this job that I'm going to be doing is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday from 6 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. with a 1-hour lunch, I think, and 2 15-minute breaks, so that I am working 10-hour days. But this is a mission field. This is a mission field, and Amazon is huge, and this is huge. And I see Papa's hand in it. I see Papa's hand. And I so need your prayers and your support. Please support. Please pray for me. I am excited. I've never been able to go overseas or Africa or anywhere else. I've never been able to do it. I don't have my passport anymore. And I'm believing God for this. I'm believing God for this, that He will use me to love these kids, to love them, and to share the gospel with them. This is my Lifestyle Christianity University in reality right here, starting October 30th. So please pray, and thank you so much for all that you've done and all your prayers and your support. You guys are so precious, and I appreciate friendship, all this friendship, all these sweet, wonderful people God has in my life. So thank you. I love you, and God bless you. Thanks again.